When will we be no longer able to say, we are still early? The title says it all. Edit: I work in the brokerage industry as a rep, and these answers are compelling, positive or not. I've had thousands of phone calls with clients, and I can only recall 2-3 times where someone was interested in buying Bitcoin, or maybe 3-5 times where they were invested in Bitcoin mining stock. Other than that, it's not really common, and yes, Bitcoin has become a household name, but I really think we are a far way off from adoption. Unfortunately, the majority of the population gets in when it's too late, when it's gone up 1000% and it feels safe to get in. Maybe it will become more stable when it reaches the market cap of gold, but I can't imagine it doing that because it's much more liquid than gold and there will certainly be a lot of transactions. I really don't know what the future will look like, and there's almost too many factors to comprehend or to be able to make a somewhat reasonable prediction. All we can do is wait, and after all, one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. You never know, you are in the good old days. Post-institutional adoption. Once you see regulation in place and subsequently the trillions of dollars inflow via BlackRock, Fidelity, etc., then you'll know you've made it, and it's no longer early. It's now normal. When BTC passes gold, you are always earlier than the ones who own 0 sats. Year 2140. That's when the real fun starts. Until the dumb neighbor comes to borrow 100 Satoshi for a week before he gets salary. It's going up forever, Laura. When there are mainstream movies which feature Bitcoin as a core plot point, like when movies started including cell phones, or social media into their plots. When Walmart or Amazon accepted for purchases. When one Bitcoin can purchase about the same that $5 million would purchase today. In 2140. We will never be too late is the best way of saying it. Maybe 20 years from now, we're like the internet pioneers ATM, just entering Napster stage. Corporations are starting to think how they can use Bitcoin. When it's normal in terms of multiple people do it on a daily basis without special interest in it, like using it for regular payments. Like internet usage by phone computers is done casually today and no longer only on regular computers and even by technically not educated people. Think of stupid kids today which do not even care to learn what a file system is and then pay some repair guy to fix the iPhone, unable to save further images, which clearly says not enough memory. When BTC market cap is more than gold's. Once at $1. When BlackRock and all hedge funds buy en masse. When a G7 country adopts it as an official reserve currency. $696,969 and 69 cents. Any buy below that, you're early. Any buy after, you're late. Over 20 global adoption as measured by percent of capital invested, not 20 of humans owning BTC. When I can keep my BTC at BAC. When institutions and governments are buying in. Well, there are 8.5 billion people on Earth, so possibly when adoption hits around 2 billion, the early adopter stage will get phased out. My 2 sats worth. Probably after this market of all the ETFs get approves. I actually don't think we're early now, but in the middle. Gradually, then suddenly. When everything is being bought and paid for in Satoshi. I'm not sure when, but I know we aren't anywhere close to being there yet. There will be a definitive day. You'll wake up to a candle $200,000 higher than when you last saw it. This will be a day when some large country announces a sizable holding of crypto. Then others will mention they also hold. Never. The price of BTC will rise over time in good fashion. Smart investors buying low will always be early. When the BTC adoption goes fully mainstream, that's when you know we have crossed the threshold, victory hand. Again BTC will fly high past that, 'cause of inflation. Isn't this a genius idea? Hail Satoshi, smiley face, olive skin. Always earlier than USD dollar. You're early so long as you can exchange fiat for Bitcoin. 25% of world population uses Bitcoin on a daily basis. Altcoins are a thing of the past. Nobody uses the word crypto when referring to Bitcoin. It's not an investment anymore. It stops being digital gold, but gold becomes Bitcoin's conservative cousin. That's when we stop being early. When your mum starts getting paid with BTC or a digital currency backed up by BTC. I had a we are early moment this weekend. I was sharing with my dad the purchase of a few rental properties, and my lender requested proof of 6 months reserves. I asked if I could use my Bitcoin balance statement as proof, and they said that is a first. And then proceeded to tell me I would need to sell it for USD for it to count. At what point in the history of the stock exchange would you be able to say we're still early? I would argue you could still say you're early in terms of the stock exchange, because it's always going to grow. Same with Bitcoin. 4 years ago. Over time, different asset markets, gold, stocks, property, bonds will divert their investments into BTC assets when the risk-return appetite suits each market. Assuming a 5 diversion of all these markets, 750 Taiwan dollars would value BTC at 37 Taiwan dollars. 1.7 M dollar BTC5 was cited in an industry analyst report, a stake in the ground, good as any other. Assume 18 years for that diversion to happen gives annual average price growth of 25. Assuming these assets inflate at 4, the headline price growth 29, so 18-20 years, and of course I know nothing. This is just a late-night pontification. When it's too late. When there is no more fiat money on the planet. My guess is early 2025 will be the beginning of a more mature market cycle. We're early for another year. Probably when I see someone actually use Bitcoin for a purchase in the wild. So, never. It's gonna tank to at the end of the year to 12K. When sale dumps on everyone. The stock market is yet to crash further, taking crypto along for the ride. NFA. It stopped being early in 2021. Since 2017 you can't say with a straight face you are early when Bitcoin has reached the market cap of a FANG company, moves slowly like a stock and is shilled by Jim fucking Cramer in a fucking CNBC. You're not even in the middle at this point, end of story. Bitcoin was invented in 2009 and is still useless AF. How do you guys genuinely think you are even close to being early? It's been 14 years. Since then humans invented two-factor auth, 4G, live streaming, VR, AI photo manipulation, drones, smartwatches and so much more. The difference? These techs are actually useful and adopted by now, because adoption doesn't take long at all if there are actual benefits. Most can't afford one BTC. If you're just getting in today it's no longer early. That ended in summer 2020. Right before Bitcoin ever stops being a store of value, whenever that may be. People will always be looking for stores of value to park their assets during times of calamity. Harsh capital controls, countrywide bank failures, currency failure or times of confiscation. When we start to get close to gold's market cap. When we are not. Simple. We are not early. When regular, everyday normal people realize that 0.00000 BTC is not an option. When there's blood in the streets and everyone is scrambling for the exits. In the financial sense, not in the revolution sense. Though these things are not mutually exclusive. Oh, you'll know. When buying BTC is as easy as pushing a button or a few taps on your phone. At least a few years ago. When all the coins are mined. Like 2018 I'd say. When you're no longer taxed for it outpacing your local government currency. When everyone you know says that Bitcoin is a great investment.